Hi, it's Sue Ricks from the Sue Ricks Academy. And this is a personal note, and I thought that I would come on and talk about some of the things that I've been contemplating and thinking about. And I've just got running through my head in terms of, if anybody's out there who's experiencing, something that's tough, whether that's an emotional thing or a physical thing, an illness or a pain or a hurt or a poorly or something that works that something that's happening that you didn't want happening, or maybe something won't work that you want to work. And that was because I was thinking about other people like myself who've got lipodema, and I've got a severe case of lipodema. And there are days when I just can't get about. I can't even get out and leave the bedroom. Even the tiniest of movements are just so ridiculously painful. And yet I lead a very, very good quality of life. And there are some days that are better than others, and some days I cope better than others. And I thought that I would just talk a little bit about some of the things that I found that make a massive difference. And so, if you've got lipodema or arthritis or anything that's going on that's similar to myself, then I just thought this would be a space where I could hop on and occasionally share just a few bits and pieces about what have been going on in my mind that have made a big difference. So, it is the importance of what's going on here, what's happening in your head, because energy follows thought. And, I find that it makes a massive difference. And even if I notice that I've gone a bit what I call sort of belly up, and my mind has gone off into some sort of downward spiral, or I've suddenly gone off at a tangent going, what ifs, etc. The moment that you can realise, and I find it's really good, I'm like, oh, hang on a minute, what am I doing? I need to be able to catch my mind and reboot it, because it's what's going on in our heads. And most of us know that. Not everybody knows that, but if you do know that, that's great. And if you don't know that, this is a great time to start, because we can have a nice time in our heads. So it's very simple. Are you able to think? Can you choose what to think about? So I could choose to think about the pain that I'm in. I could choose to think about my lack of mobility. I could choose to woe about the fact that this is a condition that has come through. We know that members of my family have had it in the past. That's actually it might be a version of the truth. I'm not even certain that it's the truth, but it's a version. But we can choose what we think about. And that's the thing that makes such a difference. And that's why, I've just been doing on the Sue Ricks Academy, I've been doing a thing about resilience, because I'm so glad, I didn't know this when I was a teenager. I did not know how important it was to be able to catch what's happening in your head. What are we thinking about? If you're watching this, what were you thinking about an hour ago? Just stop. What were you thinking about an hour ago? Is it something which is uplifting? Is it lifting your energy? Or actually, is it something that's a problem and it's actually going to take your energy down? So, is it uplifting energy up? That's what we want. Or is it energy down? That's what we don't want. And so it could be, I'm very fortunate to have some flowers which I've been given. And birthday time is a lovely time because I got given some lovely flowers, so I'm really grateful for the flowers that I've got behind me. And we've had Mothering Sunday as well. I was listening to Alan Titchmarsh, who's a lovely guy who in the UK who talks about gardens and gardening, and he has a lovely show at the weekend, and he was talking about, instead of it being Mother's Day, let's remember what it's actually called, Mothering Sunday. So thank you for the flowers from my kids. So how sweet. And I'm just really grateful to have the flowers. So I can think about the flowers, I can think about the vase that they're in, I can think about who grew them. I could be grateful in my head for the people who transported them from their garden or allotment or whatever it is to where they got to me. I could choose to think about the cup of tea that I've just had. How did I get that cup of tea, and be so grateful to everybody that's done that. I was very fortunate to know about this amazing place in Cornwall, where they grow these absolutely beautiful teas. Oh, beautiful, so refreshing that they are. And you can choose to think about, if you are in bed, you can choose to think about your bed and think about, being grateful for the fact that somebody made your bed, and, the sheets or the duvet or the pillows or whatever that's on there. So, it's what's around us that we can think about. And that's what it is that makes the difference, because, I can't necessarily, woof my lipodema away today. I'm working on all sorts of things to make my life easier. But I can't always just necessarily just go, woof, that's the issue that's gone away. But what we can do is think about what we're doing in our heads. So it's very simple. Am I capable of thinking? Yes. What am I going to choose to think about? Is it something that I'm grateful for? The air that I breathe, the water that I wash with, or I've drunk in my drink. What am I thinking about? Now, I'm not saying this is something that keeps me on a woohoo, I'm having a great time all the time. It doesn't. But it is something which is so important for me, because I can lift myself up if I catch myself, and I can give myself a bit of a lift. So, if you are somebody who's got lipodema, then feel free to keep in touch, because lipodema is something which is it's not understood by very many people. It's rising. I didn't even know I'd got it, and I think a lot of people who've got it didn't know that they've got it. I was finding walking difficult. I found it difficult to do exercise all my life because I've got these pockets that are surrounding my knee joints. I never knew that. I just knew that every time I had a fitness trainer, they told me that I was standing wrong. But I've always made it a thing to be able to keep my posture as upright as I can. And many people have actually commented about my stature, and I've tried really hard to keep, to be mindful and to keep an upright thing. So every time a fitness consultant, would say to me that I was standing wrong, I'd be like, I don't understand. But now I know more about lipodema. I understand about how our knees are so affected. I understand about how our circulation is so affected. I understand how the lymph is so affected. It makes a really big difference. And unfortunately, it's a condition where people do say, well, it's just obesity, and it's so not. There's, so many of us have worked so hard to have, clean eating and pure eating, and, I hold up my hands, and, these are not, I don't have really, really huge hands. So it's up to me and up to all of us to choose what we think about. And we can choose now to think about the things that are joyous in our lives, things that we're happy about, that we're grateful for. And, we can do some really cool things and go travelling in your head and travel in ways that keep you in a place where you can feel happy and you can feel contented and you can feel just connected to life. and you can feel that sort of oneness with the things that are around. And so feeling what I would say is like feeling a connection rather than a disconnection. And all of these things make such a difference. And it's just day to day living. And I'm going to come on and talk more about reality, because I was talking with a colleague this morning, and that's really what prompted me to do this today, is all of us have our own stuff that's going on. Everybody's got stuff. It doesn't matter who you are or what you are. You've got stuff going on. It's up to us in our heads what we do. And it may be that you only get brief interludes where you can sort of grab your brain and find a way forward. But, you know, when good times are good, that's wonderful. But when bad times are bad, it's horrid. And sometimes all you can do, I was thinking very recently, I had a bout and it was just awful. And I was just trying to move and it was just appalling. And I was consumed by pain. And then I got my breath back and I was sitting down. And then I was able to regroup and then come back to the things that I'm so grateful for, and my mental travelling and choosing to go to places which I've sort of logged them in my head of things that I can do and places that I can go and things that I can think about. And so, you know, I'll hop on again and I'll talk a little bit more about it. And so if you are a fellow person who's been diagnosed with lipodema, or even wonder if you've got lipodema, or you've got anything else that's going on, which is making it tricky, of which there's just n million variations, then there's various things that I've already put here onto YouTube. There's masses of things in the Sue Ricks Academy, and I am welcome to chat to you here through the comments. So lots of love to anybody who is loving life and enjoying life. And my motto is energy follows thought. Let's think the good stuff. So lots of love from Sue. Bye.